Israel is accusing United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres of supporting the Palestinian armed group Hamas. That's after his decision last night to invoke Article 99 from the UN Charter, in a rare move which allows him to call a meeting of the Security Council in order to address the ongoing war in Gaza. Over 17,000 people have been killed in the Gaza Strip since October, where Israel launched attacks after a surprise attack by Hamas in the south of Israel on 7th of October, in which more than 1,000 people were killed and more than 200 hostages were taken. Let's discuss this now with the University of Pretoria's International Relations expert, Professor Christopher Isike. A very good evening to you, sir. A pleasure to have your time on Newzroom Afrika tonight. So, Antonio Guterres' decision to invoke this part of the tools available to him as United Nations Secretary General is significant. Will it amount to anything, is the question.
Sorry, okay, good evening, Temekile. Thank you for having me. I missed the part of the question.
My question to you was, while it is significant in terms of the workings of the UN that Guterres has decided to invoke this particular clause, will it amount to anything for the people of Gaza?
Right. Yeah. This is it is not surprising that he has actually invoked Article 99. It's a special power, that gives the Secretary General, the ability to call for a meeting, to issue warnings about new threats to international peace and security, and on any matter that is not yet on the Council's agenda. So what he's trying to do is to force a discussion on the need for a humanitarian pause in the current crisis. Now, as to whether this can result in anything, it depends. It depends. Yeah, the major obstacle here is the veto power that the 5 permanent members of the 15-member Security Council have. They can invoke, any of them can invoke that veto, and so nullify whatever decision that the United Nations Security Council would make as a result of this meeting that the UN Secretary General has forced. However, if they all agree, if they are all persuaded and decide to take action, it can become a potent tool for causing a pause, if not a resolution of the crisis. And we have seen this happen in the past, in the case of the Congo in 1960 when this was first invoked.
How effective, though, would Guterres' own endeavors in trying to bring an end to this war be, when you consider that his relationship with the Israelis has all but broken down? For the second time in about a month, the Israelis, through the Foreign Minister Eli Cohen, have accused him of being a supporter of Hamas, even though he has repeatedly condemned the war crimes committed by Hamas on October 7th. And just on that allegation itself, because it keeps coming up, what is the Israeli government hoping to achieve by repeating it, even when he's clarified and addressed it in an extraordinary briefing that he called just in the last month?
Well, the Israeli ambassador, says that the Secretary General's invocation of Article 99 is more proof of his moral distortion and his bias against Israel. Well, the thing is, of course, you don't expect Israel to say anything less. If it was the Palestinians that felt the same way, I'm sure they would say the same thing. So the views that of countries and their representatives on matters like this should not matter too much, because whatever position they will have is expected. But for the UN Israeli ambassador to the UN, I think I would say that moral distortion would be his own view that anyone who recognizes and validates the humanity of Israelis is moral, and anyone who validates the humanity of others is immoral, and that is preposterous.
Has Guterres' credibility in what's going on in Gaza at the moment, has it really taken a knock as a result of the comments from the Israelis?
Well, I'm sure he was frustrated initially by the deafening silence of world leaders when this whole crisis started. He's been calling for a ceasefire, a humanitarian pause since the 18th of October, just a few days after the bombardments, started. And he clarified and has consistently maintained that he condemns Hamas terror in Israel. Right. So, and this is what people who occupy such positions should do: condemn evil when speak out, call it out when it is perpetrated, like the Hamas did, and also do the same thing when it is being perpetrated by anyone else, like the Israelis are doing. And so, I don't think that maybe for the Israelis, his neutrality can be questioned. However, for anyone who's objective would know that he's still in a better position to try and bring some sanity to the room in terms of trying to get some form of resolution to this conflict.
Professor Christopher Isike, good to speak to you.